want to tell you about something I've never fully shared on camera before. My mom, she recognized my face until the very end. She knew I was someone she loved, but she couldn't remember my name. That's what dementia does. It doesn't take everything all at once. It takes it slowly, piece by piece, until the person you love is still there in front of you, but the connection between you is gone. She was present and absent at the same time, and there was nothing I could do about it. My dad didn't make it to 70. He had been battling health problems for years, prostate issues, the kind of compounding physical decline that happens when the body hasn't been given what it needs for a long time. Both my parents cared about their health. I want to be clear about that. They weren't indifferent. They tried. In the last years of their lives, they even became vegetarians, which sounds like the right move until you understand that their version of vegetarianism looked a lot like mine when I was 19. I have to tell you about that. I got into health and wellness when I was 19. I didn't know anything. I just had this instinct that moving my body and eating better foods was a step in the right direction. So I committed to it. I went vegetarian, eventually vegan, and I stayed that way for nearly 12 years. What I didn't understand, what nobody told me, was that that label on your diet means nothing if you don't understand nutrition. Because here's the thing. Oreos are vegan, technically. And I ate a lot of things that technically qualified while my body was running on almost nothing it actually needed. My wife and I were cycling and running together. By every external measure, we looked healthy. People assumed we were healthy, but I was missing the education that turns good intentions into real results. That changed in about 2005 when I was introduced to CrossFit and started lifting weights for the first time. Then in 2008, I discovered nutrition, like real nutrition, and everything shifted. I went deep, maybe a little too deep at first. By 2010, I was full on paleo, which is now, looking back at it, I know it's its own kind of extreme. But for the first time in my life, I understood what I was actually putting in my body and why it mattered. In 2009, I co-founded my first CrossFit gym. In 2013, I came along and did another one. I became known as the nutrition guy, the coach people came to when they wanted to understand not just how to train, but also how to fuel. And in 2012, when I moved back to California, people who hadn't seen me in over a decade just like were surprised by my physical shape and like fitness. The transformation was visible, but what they couldn't see was the internal shift that had happened. The moment I stopped going through the motions and started building something intentional. Here's what drives all of it. My parents sacrificed themselves for everyone around them. They put their health last the way so many good, loving, responsible people do. And I watched what happened as a result. I watched my dad's body fail him before he ever got to see what his later years could have been. I watched my mom's mind slip away, slowly, then completely, until she was sitting across from me, full of love, with no access to my name. She knew my face, she knew she cared about me, but my name was gone. I think about that every single day, not with grief, though the grief is real, with purpose, because the question that moment planted in me has never left. What am I doing right now, today, to make sure that that doesn't happen to me? That question is my why. It lives in every workout, every meal, every early bedtime, every glass of water, every decision to take care of myself, even when life is pulling me in 17 other directions. I lift weights because muscle protects your metabolism, your joints, and your independence as you age. I eat with intention because food is information. It tells your body what to build and how to function. I sleep because sleep is when your brain consolidates memories, clears out waste, and does the maintenance work that protects cognitive function over decades. I hydrate because every biological process in your body depends on it. I manage stress because chronic cortisol is one of the most damaging forces on long-term health. I don't do these things because I love every early morning. I do them because I've seen what the alternative looks like up close. And I've made a decision, a clear, deliberate, daily decision to write a different story. Here's what I want you to hear. You might be watching this because you've been putting yourself last, because there's always someone who needs you more, always something more urgent than your own health, always a reason to sacrifice the sleep or skip the workout or grab whatever's fast instead of what's nourishing. I understand that. I was raised by two people who lived that way. But here's the truth they didn't know, and I wish someone had told them. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is the most generous thing you can do for the people who love you. Because the version of you that is rested, nourished, strong, and cognitively sharp, that version shows up better for everyone. That version is present. That version remembers names. You don't have to have it all figured out. I didn't at 19. I didn't at 30. And I'm still learning. But you have to start, and you have to start with a real reason, not a number on a scale, not a dress size, not an aesthetic goal that disappears the moment life gets hard. A real reason, and one that holds through the hard weeks. Find yours, write it down, come back to it on the days when it would be easier to quit. And if you want help building a plan around that reason, a real plan designed for your real life, your real schedule, your real stage, DM me the word coach. I read every message personally. I'll respond the same day. This is the work I was built to do, and I'd be honored to do it with you. I'll see you in the next one.